It's recording.
Folks, how old do you think I am? I want you to be honest here, okay? Your comments, I mean, don't be mean because you want to try to be mean and ugly. I mean, be honest here. How old do you think I am? And I say that because it's amazing how people that don't have a semblance of qualification, meaning cosmetology license to practice as a cosmetologist, esthetician, stylist, psychologist, sociologist.
Ooh, sociology, that's a good one.
To make judgment calls about people when they're not even qualified professionally or, academically to be doing that. And if you've ever experienced someone trying to make a judgment call about your appearance, ask yourself, well, what is it that you're looking to seek from this person, and what is it that you're lacking inside yourself that you think this person can validate? Because if they're giving you bullshit information, then obviously you know it in your gut when they're giving you
well, whatever. And saying that, like passing it on there. So get at what you're getting at. Where did you go?
Okay, I went to a place called...
You don't even have to give the name. You just, what did you do? You went somewhere.
Okay, I went to... I'm always being told, and I'm not exaggerating here, okay, and people are going to have their opinions, but I'm always being told that I should get into modeling or I should get into some type of print modeling. A friend of mine is a model in California who's also a psychologist, by the way,
right,
and a marriage and family therapist, and she's always telling me you need to go out and get yourself a portfolio, and even if you're just doing face or print ads,
Sure, easily.
I mean, I'm, 5'6", and I'm 113 pounds, but with heels I could easily be 5'9". So, but it doesn't matter. So anyway, I went to this place in Alaska, and I go in there and I'm just interested to get her opinion as to what the market could be for someone in Alaska, such as myself. And I say that because I think Alaska could use some class, when it comes to their bridal magazines or when it comes to, advertising beauty. I think that they need to catch up with the rest of the world. They're not as progressive when it comes to, appearance. And unfortunately, not everybody can be natural, or, natural is not always what you think it is, okay? Even the girl with the brunette hair, is probably getting that brunette hair dyed to look natural. So
healthy and shiny.
Exactly.
I just want it to look healthy and shiny. And
so, at least I'm, honest here when I'm talking about, yeah, I like my hair extensions, but, and I do like my Botox and stuff, but at least I'm forthcoming with that, I'm a reliable historian here. I'm not going to sugarcoat something. But anyway, so I walk into this place, and this lady, much older lady, I believe, she looked older, she says basically in the beginning, a good business mechanism or a good business sense is that you usually shake someone's hand. Well, I didn't even get that at all. I got a up and down look like, do you have an appointment? And how could you ask someone if you have an appointment when you fucking spoke to them? You made the appointment with them.
Right.
So, hello. So, anyway, so I'm sitting down.
That's the first time you cussed. She got under your skin.
She really did. Kind of like a, like a germ. But anyway, so my husband decides to go with me as well. And he's there, and he considers himself like my bodyguard, I guess. But anyway, so...
Well, duh.
Yeah. But, first of all, she's looking at him like, what the hell are you doing here? So, he didn't like that anyway. But anyway, so my husband goes there with me, and we're talking. She's like, well, first of all, why are you doing this in Alaska? And I said, well, because quite honestly, other markets I'm really not interested in. When I go to California, I go there for business, and I'm stuck in a bureaucratic room all day, from 7 in the morning or 8 in the morning till 7 at night, and I don't have time or the desire to want to go modeling or,
right,
portfolio hopping. So,
go-sees, yeah.
That's what they call them, go-sees. So she says to me, well, I don't know what kind of a market there will be in Alaska for you, but in California you could do, fill-ins, you could do, plays, parts, and I'm like, listen, if I wanted to go in California, I'm sure I could do that, but that's not what I want to do. That my objective would be to do it here in Alaska, because I live here. And bottom line was that I'm just too high fashion, high glamour, and she did use that, high glamour, high fashion for Alaska, that there really isn't a market for me, and if she could recommend anything as her being an image consultant person, she would recommend me going back to my natural color. and my makeup could use some updating. Well, I'm here with the Alaska Makeup Queen, and my makeup doesn't need any updating. As a matter of fact, I could use a little bit more makeup. You know?
I don't think people are used to girls being quote quote drag queens either, where they're going to wear full foundation, contouring, lips, eyes, you know, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and
I mean, people here aren't really used to that.
You know, if you're gonna wear makeup, why the fuck would you want to look natural? I mean, obviously makeup's not natural, right? But you can accentuate your features. When I wear makeup, okay? I like makeup. And, you know, who the fuck are you to stand there in front of me and smugly lecture me on how much makeup I wear when you're wearing 3 times the stuff that's gonna crack your face, you know?
So she hurt your feelings.
Well, I think she was inaccurate. I think what she said was...
Wait, how old did she say you were?
Well, she said I looked 47, which obviously is... I knew, I gasped. I was like, okay, now I know that's a bunch of crap, because even on my worst day, I don't look 37. So...
I just love that even on my worst day. I think that's... So do you think she was threatened by you?
Oh, yes. I think she was very threatened by me. I think she was threatened by my age. I think she was threatened by my femininity, my beauty, my intelligence, and the fact that I wasn't there because I need her to validate me. I just wanted, you know, it's not like a lifelong dream that I aspired to be a freaking model. If that was a career of mine, I would have done it at the age of 2 or 3 or something, you know? But that's not something that I aspired to doing. I thought it would be fun, get me out of the house, maybe, you know, have some fun with it. But I kind of felt like she was like a big barrier. Like, you know, well, if I like you, I might promote you, and if I don't, I'm going to, you know, hinder you.
Right.
And it's sad because, you know, where does professionalism come into play here? Where does, you know, being objective versus subjective? Where does being objective, professional, fair, and, you know, being business oriented? If you're a business owner, wouldn't you want your clients to make you money? Hello, if you're in the business of making money, everybody could be a potential, you know, moneymaker for you. So I don't know. I think I was very disappointed. It was very disenchanting because it just felt that, number one, it just...
How did you find this place?
I
mean, they even exist in Alaska. How did you find it?
Yeah, actually, I just went online and Googled Alaska modeling agencies.
And they popped up.
Only one popped up.
Yeah. Right on.
Only one popped up, and I don't think there's anything. There's obviously nothing in Wasilla. There's nothing in Fairbanks. There's nothing, you know. So I thought, oh, let me see, you know. But I can tell you, I must have had something going for me because she was about ready to make me an offer to sell the damn business to me. It could use the energy and the look that I so could not market or sell for the state of Alaska, but could to buy her business.
That's kind of bullshit. Like, what is that? That's bullshit right there.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I think that's bullshit. I think you go in there and you totally tear somebody down because this person comes in already got their makeup on and their hair done and whatever. Hair color is subjective. I mean, if you actually have a client that wants to use you and is willing to pay your price, you're going to wear whatever hair color they say.
Oh, exactly. Hello. Modeling is not about what you come in with. Modeling is looking at the, you know, what does this person have? Modeling is looking at the merchandise, okay?
Right, exactly.
Wilhelmina Cooper said, okay, I could care less about your biker chick bullshit, okay? I'm looking at your lips and your eyes and your body and your face, and that, I believe, is going to sell. Because I can make you anything. If I wanted you to be a bleach blonde, okay? With blue eyes, I could put contacts in you. But as long as you have that face, I believe we could sell it.
Exactly.
So, hello, you know?
Right. Exactly my point. So the other thing I think is that a lot of people in Alaska decide that they're going to be something without any education or any background or minimal education and background in it. And because it's a great big state with a small population, that they get away with it. So what are your credentials? How many years do you have in business? And what exposure? Have you done anything out of the state? Have you done anything in the state? The stuff that you've done in the state, where's your training? Where did you get that information?
Exactly. For someone to say to you, well, I've got like almost 30 years experience in the business. Okay, 30 years meaning, okay, you have 10 years in school, you got your bachelor's, you got your master's, you actually studied at some of the best beauty institutes, you know.
You have an art degree?
Yeah, you have an art degree.
You have a psychology degree?
Exactly. Are you a cosmetologist that worked for 20 years?
Right,
you know,
anything.
In New York, LA, what are your stats?
Right.
You know, and
what's your resume? You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you to judge?
Exactly.
Yeah, what's your resume that says that when this opinion you're offering is an educated one?
Versus coming in thinking that because you live here, because you read glamour magazines, that you have the right or the intelligence or the imagination to certify yourself someone qualified to make judgment calls on beauty. You know? I mean, what do you think about that? Do you think, Joseph, after what I have told you, that this person that rendered these decisions, clearly a subjective opinion, do you think that person was threatened by me?
I think they were probably very threatened by you, but I also think that default Alaskan behavior, you've got this default Alaskan behavior. If somebody looks like this, they must be like that, because it isn't LA, it isn't California, it isn't New York, it isn't Arizona and Las Vegas, where you could look through somewhere in Las Vegas and see 10 girls dressed the way you are.
Oh my God,
You know what I'm saying?
And those 10 girls are the ones that are modeling for, the fighting championship, or,
Right. Right, ring girls, whatever they are.
Right.
Or the poster girls, or you name it. They're down working, they work the high-end cocktail tables and make thousands of dollars doing that. There's all kinds of jobs. There's girls now. What you have to be careful of is that there are people now that appearance, they're highly educated, they are in professional jobs, they make a ton of money, and they have whatever appearance it is, regardless.
Yeah, I like looking like this.
Yeah.
I don't do it because my husband likes it. I don't do it because, it's on a magazine. I do it because this is how I choose to look.
Right.
I actually like
you're
it.
like it.
Oh, I love it.
Right, and that's the point. I used to bleach my hair. I used to have purple hair. I used to have green hair.
I had
do whatever.
eggplant hair, I had red, I
Yeah,
had orange,
everything.
I had
Yeah.
tortoiseshell
Sure.
red, blonde.
Got to do it all.
But I've always wanted to be a solid blonde, like a Barbie.
Sure. So I call you Dr. Barbie.
Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget when I was a little girl, my dad said, "You'll never be a Barbie, don't never."
Right.
Well, Dad, you're eating your words.
Right. Too bad I am.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Ding dong.
Who is it?
Was a potential client. Everybody else made it home. But yeah, I think it's really, I think it's in Alaska that people are still trying to sell some conservative, Republican, Christian image.
And that's why they'll never be in the fashion capital, okay?
But that's got to go away. I really think that's got to go away.
It has to. First of all, the mentality and the socialization of it has to go away.
I agree. There's stuff that I do and I wear regardless because it's stylish, not because of any other reason. And people will look at me and they're like, "Oh, where did you get that? That looks good." Or "Where did you see that?" And "Oh, you dress well." When I'm in boy mode, they're like, "Oh, you dress really good for a guy."
Oh, Jesus.
It's like, right, because it's not fucking Carhartt.
So exactly. So because you look like that, you must fit this script, or because I look like this, I must fit the script, and,
Right.
and I might be too progressive or too threatening for the state of Alaska. Well, then someone needs to do some major,
Well, in another part of the world, just because you have bleach blonde hair and hair extensions doesn't make you a stripper.
doesn't make me a stripper or a hooker.
Yeah,
Hello.
exactly. In other parts of the world, as a matter
And by the way, in California, I know many physicians that look just like me.
yeah, right.
Physicians.
My whole point. And so it's irritating because until that mold gets called out on the carpet by saying, "I'm not accepting you saying that anymore," that's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. And people, they socialize it to mean it must be fact, and people reinforce that.
Right. Well, and then who? Is it the fat, 55-year-old, Christian, Republican, unhappy, still married, husband's cheating on her? Here comes the young blonde girl who represents Sex Kitten.
Everything my husband dreams about every night.
Right, and I'm going to be cranky about it?
Yeah,
because the last time I had an orgasm was 1973.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if I were an old man married to a bat like that, or a woman like that, sorry folks, if I were an old man and I saw a sex kitten come my way, hello, I'd be fantasizing too.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reality of it all. And so you see that come in, and sure, your hackles are going to go up. My favorite thing was when I was a kid, my mom had a friend. See, I always got a reference point.
I know.
Isn't that awesome? My mom had a friend who did all her hair and makeup. had always done all her hair and makeup, wouldn't be seen without her hair and makeup. I loved her to death.
Yeah, I know. I love her. She'd be my hero.
You know, and she wouldn't answer the door without her makeup on. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, Mary was crazy about her. She had to look good.
Wasn't she the one that sold Mary Kay?
No.
Oh, okay, that's a different one.
No, I had client. That's a total different client.
Okay.
And then I have another friend of mine right now. Her mom used to take us to the Holy Roller Church, and her mom did it in full Mary Kay makeup.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
sold the Mary Kay. And her daughter, of course, to this day has full makeup no matter what. She's totally a drag queen. Got to have her makeup. Her oldest daughter, who ended up committing suicide because of depression.
Sorry.
Full makeup, love her to death. Her daughter is a very good friend of mine that I just adore, living down south. Became a hairdresser and a cosmetologist and an esthetician. She's really talented. And then the youngest one, she has a daughter too. So all the girls, hair and makeup.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, they all look at, that's who I grew up with in the wilderness.
That's true.
People looked at them like, oh my God, they're crazy because they're the one person that does it. I thought they were great. Hell yeah, I'll go to church with you. Yeah. She looks like a good, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, I love it. Teach me how you do that.
Hell yeah, and everybody's like, how did you get so good with your makeup? Well, I started when I was 5.
Yeah, I know.
Stacy's
Me
mom
too.
was all putting it on.
I know, me too. I started when I was like 5, 6.
You know, I watched the girls do it, so yeah, I mean, are you kidding me? So, no, I think that's got to go away. I think that the judgment, another friend of mine at one time was going to a church, and she had dyed her hair, and it was a very conservative church, and she is a nail lady, and we got crazy and had a blast of hair and dyed it red. And I mean, it couldn't have got any more...
Fire red?
Well, it was more fuchsia red.
Ooh,
I mean, it was
nice.
vibrant, right? And she had, you know, a lot going on in her life. And somehow the preacher worked it into the conversation about how unnatural dyed hair was not okay, and God, blah, 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 blah.
What?
And because he didn't appreciate her hair color.
Yeah, he had to...
But then shot himself in the damn foot because how many, to include his wife, had highlights in their hair? You see what I'm saying?
The whole church and some of the men that dyed their hair too.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
an
exactly. But that's the Alaskan mentality. You know what I'm saying? Like, we's all gonna be a little house on the prairie, and we're all gonna dress like bums. How you doing, brother? You know, and it's like, stop it right now. I don't want to wear overalls unless they have glitter.
Exactly, and here's the thing.
Well, actually, I would go to a white party. I had a friend of mine who parties the world, goes to all the little white parties, all the gay parties, and they're all dressing cool. I said I would go in white overalls with cow print on it because I'm a bigger girl, and I would have to have glitter cow print.
Bling.
Right, it'd all have to be glittered out. All the dark stuff would be glitter on it in shapes, but white overalls.
Bling.
And then I would have the platform shoes that would be glitter, but they would have to have hooves cut on them so that I'd be like, hey girl, I am the fat cow and the disco ball. Woo!
That sounds to me like Pete Burns. You know who Pete Burns
yes,
is?
that would totally be my costume. I
like
care.
him. I like Pete Burns. And so anyway,
But that mentality, I mean, come on, God, we're getting too old for this shit.
But here's the thing. Who are those Little House on the Prairie men daydreaming about?
Right. Daydreaming my ass, they're whacking off to it.
Yeah.
Those guys are totally got the pictures, and that's why wives get pissed when they see the Playboy bunny coming through the door. They see somebody's got the blonde hair, the great looks, and all the makeup. They flip out because you equals sex. Darn. They equal old maid.
Yeah.
I hated that card game.
I know. Well, you know, it's amazing because I like the way I look, and I love the way I look. My husband loves the way I look, but you know, if people are threatened by the way I look, they need to look inside themselves because that is their problem, not my problem.
Well, right. I never take when I was younger. Sure, I took it personal. You know, what is wrong with me? Totally tore myself apart. But after a while, I figured out that they were fucked up.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. Well, how does this have anything to do with you? You're happy with who you are.
Yeah, exactly.
You love you.
Yeah,
you love
it took
those
years to get there. I get it. But God, it took years to shake that shit off and then get to a point where you realize that's other people's shit.
Yeah, that's their insecurity.
And besides that, I tell everybody, you know, like, from here up, I'm a great porn star. I look good from here up, darling. You know. But yeah, I mean, give me a break.
Yeah,
it's
I
so
mean,
stupid. You can, you know, it's your choice.
Insecurity.
But isn't it your
jealousy.
choice?
Of course it is, absolutely.
And you're going to succumb to peer pressure because you're too sexy?
I'm going to let someone tell me how they think I should look and dress and act because they think they're qualified to do that? To
right.
give that...
With their cereal box qualifications?
Yeah, if that. If that, you know, Cracker Jack box stuff, you know,
yeah.
that. But, you know, don't go preaching that, you know, you think you know it all and by you know, being prescriptive as, oh, well, if you do this, do that, I can show you how to do this. Well, you know, that's, you know, just disillusioning to me. Very disillusioning, I guess. It's just...
It's asinine bullshit.
Yeah,
It's rude.
Yeah, and plus, you know what? It's bad business. If you really wanted to make money, you would see someone...
Well, in the image business, like that's bad business.
Hello, I mean, and...
You know what I would have saw if I saw you coming in the door?
What?
I mean, when I saw you coming in the door the first time around, I didn't just go, cha-ching, this girl wears hair and makeup. You know what I mean?
High maintenance.
I saw high maintenance, which means this person's going to give a shit about their appearance if you follow the interview process, and then I'm not going to be wasting my time teaching or sharing or saying, hey, this is what to do. You're not a waste of time, so that is really a positive thing, because you're going to take the time to do it.
Yeah, I'm not a virgin when it comes to applying makeup and hair.
Well, not only that, just that you're going to do it. Hey, this is what you should do, this is what you should do.
It's a priority for me.
Right.
I like it. I want to do it.
Right, my whole point. And then you got these people that are like, oh no, you know.
Why would they want to rain on my parade? You know, my sunshine. If that brings me a lot of happiness and joy because I love it, I take the time to take care of me.
That goes all the way down to a very basic instinct. If you look better than I do by standing next to you, I'm going to have to change. I'm going to have to step up my game.
Being shot and coming back as a new baby person grown up might not even do the trick, but you know.
But my point being, though, is that it's competition. Human beings are visual and we're competitive.
Territoriality.
Yeah,
dominance.
And so the whole point being is that so I tear you down means I don't have to come up. So I'm going to rip you down. Try and drag you down to my level.
I'm way too strong for that. I've gone up even more levels.
Whatever. You are too much of a bitch for that. You're not going to let anybody treat you like shit.
Yeah, I have too much narcissism in me, lady.
Yeah.
Folks.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you don't get like 13 years of schooling and all these degrees and travel and money and all the life experience and people that actually are in the business that know what they're fucking talking about, that have exchanged hands with millions of dollars worth of clients and some of the best in the world. Right. You know, you don't get there just by believing someone with
Cracker Jacks.
Yeah. Cracker Box, Cracker Jack,
the
whatever.
cereal box is what I said, yeah.
So, sorry, but, you know, I'm smarter than that. And, you know, if you had an IQ higher than 100, 110, you wouldn't be given that type of advice. So.
I love it. You're ballsy. Go, girl. She's not scared to fight back. Love that.
No, of course not.
Well, some people are, you know, they get your feelings get hurt and whatever, but a lot of people won't fight back. You're like, bullshit, I'm not accepting that.
No, I'm not accepting it because, number one, it's unacceptable. I think it's a bunch of crap. Okay?
Right.
I think it's a big lie. I think it's a bunch of crap. And
Do you think this particular place is just making money because they're saying a modeling agency? Don't you think that's like a catch?
Well,
like
because when I walked in there, it looked like Romper Room. It didn't look... I mean, who has... Well, I won't get into the specifics, but I mean, it didn't look like what I've seen in California, and I'm from the Bronx, New York, folks, and I grew up in, you know, New York City.
There's the fight, no wonder, right there. Go, girl.
Well,
New York.
But I mean, here's the thing, okay, I've walked into some of the best modeling agencies in New York, in LA, in California, and I've never not expected something less than, you know, 5-star facility with real frames of pictures. Not, you know.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, because here in Alaska, I can open it up in a bingo hall and say modeling agency, and all these little girls are like, oh, I gotta go because I want to be a model. And they're totally screwing them over.
So what are they actually teaching them, you know?
Yeah, what are they teaching them?
That's what I want to know. What do you teach people? Because, I mean, even Barbizon, you can go to Barbizon and they teach you how to put on makeup, they teach you how to drink your tea, they teach you how to say yes and not yeah, or, you know, they teach you how to be, you know, they teach etiquette, they teach charm. And really, you know, I already knew how to put on my damn makeup before I went to Barbizon, before I did any of that crap, you know. I kind of had a gene for it when I was born. But, I mean, what do they teach you? I mean, how do they get paid? What are they actually trying to sell? Because, you know.
Right. They're not. They're selling the I'm better than you are, and I'm the authority, and you're going to pay me $250, and I'm going to tell you blah, 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 and I expect you to go do it. Have a nice day. There's no competition, and it's Alaska, and, you know, if you want to do it, do it. And you've got all these little princesses that are like, I'm a model, and you know what I mean? Well, it's not even a real, I mean, it could be a business, but even the way they go about the business, it doesn't sound very practical to me.
Have you ever had an experience, you know, with all the work you've done in pageants and stuff, meeting people that...
Oh, I have.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Oh, I bet.
Sounds familiar to me.
Yeah.
And if it is familiar to me, I just have to laugh because a lot of people are full of themselves. And they're not, and I just move away from that environment. It's like,
Isn't
you
that
can do
sad?
a lot more damage than good with that mentality. Think of the little girl that goes in there that's 11, 12, 13, and she wants to be a model. So they tell her she's got to do this finishing stuff, she's got to blah, 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 and you got to this, watch your weight and everything, and yada, yada, yada. So she does it. And then she goes back at 16, 17, 18, and she's done everything they say. And then they tell her, do this, do this, do this, do this. And she's like, okay, and she's paid, and she's done whatever, and she's doing everything. And she gets out into the real fucking world. Mm-hmm. And the real world says, no way in hell, you wasted your money. Mm-hmm. That girl has spent 6 years of her life
listening to
somebody who's unqualified, totally tears this person down. What is that kid? What's the chances of that person being suicidal after that?
Yeah.
You're the doctor in psychology, probably higher than
oh my God.
Higher than they would have been.
Eating disorders, depressed, suicidal.
Yeah,
panic disorder.
Higher than they would have been if they would have said,
seeking.
Well, the reality of the business is this, but if you want to do it as a self-improvement point of view, these are the things you can do to make the best you can offer. And as times are changing and markets are changing here in the future, there could be a market for your look. So don't give up on it and do these things. Not, if you do this and this and this and this, then you're going to get this and this and this. You can't guarantee that. So this kid has picked their guts out or slapped on too much makeup or did whatever it was supposed to do for a large period of their time because they're going to get that job. And when they get rejected, it fucks them up.
Yeah, it does.
And no, not here. That's bullshit. And you get away with it in Alaska, and there's a whole nother crop of them that roll in from out in the lower 48, and they come up as oil families or whatever. And of course, they've got beauty pageants and all that crazy shit that goes on in America, and they're little princesses. It's just got a cycle that it goes through. And because it's small and isolated up here, this group of people makes money off of that. They feed off of it.
It's like a cult.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I think it's like a false, prophecy. It's just wrong.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, though, this is what I do feel extreme pleasure in, that I said, it's never been a lifelong dream or aspiration. I mean, I had other goals. I just thought it'd be fun to kind of investigate and see what the feedback is.
Right.
And I guess I opened the floodgates to feedback when I, solicited it, huh?
Well, sure. Well, you did achieve that. So the positive thing was you got plenty of feedback. Now, the deal was it relevant or positive?
It wasn't relevant, and did I listen? No.
Yeah, exactly.
I called Joseph. Joseph!
Yeah, do I look 47? No.
I called Joseph immediately, and we had a wonderful conversation. Joseph is a psychologist in training, everyone.
I will be, yep. It's like, well, you really need to consider the source.
That's
Start
right.
there.
And then after that, you're right. Oh my God. Hello.
Well, and I think it's really funny that when I was in beauty school, they did, the local newspaper did a whole story on hairdresser intimidation. Made the front page of the newspaper.
That sounds like a great story.
And what they were talking about was how these women who have educations, family, and successes and businesses owners could go in to somebody that they're considering their image consultant about their hair, about their makeup, about their looks, and say, put that into this person, supposedly a professional's hands. And then be able to run a boardroom, but have their hairdresser shred them. And come out of there crying because the hairdresser said.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
That's true.
And so the good thing about it is that the owner of the school was screaming pissed off when she read it because they did the photo shoot in our school. Screaming pissed off because she didn't realize that it paid hairdressers to be these monsters.
Which they're not.
Which they can be.
They can be.
You're not. Can be. I've been in my career, I've been here too long. I played that game when I was younger. Oh God, please, ew. But then you realize when you mature and grow up, or or if you want a more mature or grown up clientele, that your behavior has to reflect that. So then the other thing I learned is that you could really make, like, when I started working on people that had survived cancer, people that had survived or were surviving with other diseases or HIV or whatever, how much better they felt when you told them the truth, and that you did make them look the best they could look for them, which was pretty damn good for most people. I don't even care. I know one girl had burn on her face, and no, let's show you how to blend that in with the Dad Queen makeup. Use Dermablend.
Dermablend, exactly.
Yeah.
That's great.
I'm like, you need to get this stuff and put it on there, like, because we're in Alaska, nobody knew it that, but
Right.
because I knew drag queens that used it, I'm like, no, try that.
Right.
She orders it, you know, she can cover it up. She's like, oh,
Yeah.
changed their whole life. Like, gives
Yeah.
me goosebumps because it changed their whole life.
Yeah, she had second skin.
Right, and so my whole point of view was, wow, I don't want to be the cunt, right? I don't want to be that person. I don't want to say, you fucking blah, 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 this is always wrong, it's always bad, I would just, each time. Because it's always come from a negative. I want to say, well, this is what I would do with my experience,
Right.
and this is how we can make you look the
Right.
best for you, and are you happy with that?
Right. What do you want to achieve?
Exactly.
And let me see how I can use my level of expertise and skills to accomplish that.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Are you going to catch the bus and run home?
I'm doing homework right here,
Oh, oh, right on. Okay, good.
Are you leaving, Shane?
No,
No, I'm
he's
saying-
doing his
Oh, okay.
homework.
I was going to say, it's late. But you don't
Yeah.
have to leave. You could stay with us. I mean,
Yeah.
don't leave on account of because we're running late.
No, we're
We always,
Yeah. Blah blah blah. I booked the
That's
whole
fine.
day for you.
Lord me.
Just for you.
Well, you want to hear something that wonderful that happened to me Saturday? I went out to eat at a Mexican restaurant, Jalapenos in Wasilla, okay?
Right.
And the manager of the store was just so nice, a very sweet woman, and she, you know, kept staring at me. She goes, "I'm so sorry to, you know, say this, but have I seen you on TV somewhere before?"
Oh, that's awesome.
And I said, "I don't think so, unless, you know, Joseph, are you advertising those, you know, YouTube things everywhere?" And then
Right.
she goes, I just know I've seen your face on TV or a commercial, or were you in a magazine?" I said, "God, I wish I could say yes, but no." And she goes, "Oh, I thought you were a model." She goes, you know, and she was just as nice as can be. And I asked her, I said, "How old do I look?" She goes, 31, 32.
Good.
And
See?
she had nothing to, you know, hide or nothing to please me. You know, she wasn't my waitress. She didn't need the tip.
Right.
So
Right. She's just being
she was
honest.
being genuine.
Right.
Okay. So that to me was important. That was very nice of her. And my husband says to me, "Ah, the truth, see?" So,
It is true. I just think that it's really interesting how many people abuse their point of view, you know, and I'm guilty of that. I've done it in my past.
I guess it's sad because they've been reinforced that their point of view is actually worth something.
Well, that scares me right there. That just drives me over a wall. It's because it is all about Pavlov's dogs in the end.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, when we talk about psychologists in training,
Yeah.
they got rewarded for that behavior, so they will continue to do it.
Yeah, and they'll continue to salivate and.
Yeah, until they get what they want, you know, and they'll get it, and they'll push and push. There's an immunity that gets built up, so it might take a little more extreme behavior each time, but they're still going to get the reward.
That's right.
So stupid to me.
It's just sad. You know, some people that actually think that they have the ability to reinforce what they're saying.
Well, and the other problem is you're going to fuck with the wrong person eventually. You know, you're going to. You know, when you have somebody jump out of your chair and cuss you out one time and slam everything all around off your station because they don't like what's going on with their hair, no matter what you discussed, and that happens, it changes your point of view.
Did that happen to you?
Yep, I've had it happen to me. First time it happened to me was in beauty school.
Really?
Yes, I was the instructor was always in charge of picking curl size and all that kind of stuff, so I did exactly what I was told to do. And when we took the rods out of the perm, after explaining to her that the type of wrap that she had would not give her the curls she was looking for,
Right.
the woman threw a fit. So the instructor refused to deal with her and went up to the owner and said, "You need to go back and deal with the situation. I'm not dealing with it because the woman is not behaving herself."
Uh-huh.
So the owner comes back and says, "So there's a problem with your perm? You need a perm?" And she goes, jumps out of my chair, "You can't even fucking tell that I have a perm, see?" And she slams all the stuff. Well, in beauty school, you have to pay for all the stuff on your
Yeah.
station, right?
Yeah.
Well, of course, you're paying for everything,
Yeah.
one way or the other. You're paying your tuition, you're paying whatever. But, I mean, you pay for all your
Right.
extras outside of your kit,
Right.
which, of course, I had. Goes flying across the room on a Saturday, which was like, 120 people working their asses off, and throws this big fit. And I watched the most amazing display of self-control and psychology I've ever seen in my life. The owner of the beauty school, she put her hand on her hip and she says, "Ma'am," she says, "if you want to discuss this like adults, I will talk to you like an adult. If you cannot discuss this like an adult," she says, "I am not going to talk to you like an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So, please sit down, let's discuss this like adults." And the lady says, "Well, you can't even tell that I've had a perm." And she says, "The point I was trying to make was not that you had so much curl. I don't understand why you needed more curl than what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And with the wrap that you had done,
Mhm.
you're not going to get ringlety curls unless we did a spiral, which you were told your hair was too short for.
Mm-hmm.
So, what's your problem?"
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, well, I guess. And the woman was so stumped. Like, she just stood with her arms crossed and couldn't even just,
Yeah, because she said you've already been warned what we can accomplish and what we can't accomplish.
Right.
You already know this, so what are you bitching about?
Right, exactly. And she didn't call her names, and she didn't raise her voice, and she didn't do any of that. And I was so blown away because I was like, wow, you're a ninja. You know, like, look at all that skill.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there was years of work gone into that conversation instead of you fucking bitch, get out the goddamn door, you crazy, you know, whatever it was. And at the same year of beauty school, I actually watched a fight break out between one of the owners and the owner's sons with a husband of a client, because a wife had come in and got a haircut as a model. So it was when the horseshoe bobs were first coming out in the 80s. That's how old I am. Older than you.
Not that
Yeah,
much.
but enough. And here it is. And she loved her haircut, and the husband, because this is Alaska, she looks like a dyke, she blah, 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 which she didn't.
Right.
She looked high fashion,
Yeah, she looked
right?
great.
She looked fucking great.
Yeah.
And, you know, highlights and the whole 9 yards. She looked hot. Husband couldn't handle it because she looked like a dyke with that short fucking hair. This Neanderthal, you know, oil worker guy who worked further up the food chain, actually, which I couldn't even believe it. Like, he was some petroleum engineer. Blah, 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 blah.
Amazing, he made that.
And I can't even believe he made it out of bed.
I know.
I mean, can
I
you
know.
even wipe your ass with that mentality? I mean,
tell ya.
fucking idiot.
Exactly.
So, so as that's all going on, he's pushing, shoving. They have to stop. Actually, the kids and the owner, you know, they're calling like, hey, so the owner's husband comes over and the oldest son's there working, and they get him outside, and the guy starts calling him names and starts using all these words and starts hitting him in the thing like this. And finally he says, I am warning you. You need to leave. They need to get on the phone. And the guy took a punch at him, and he just doubled up his fist and hit him and knocked him right back over the car. And I was like, now I'm
Good.
warning you.
Now don't do it again.
Yeah, exactly. I'm
'Cause
warning
next time,
you.
You're gonna go through the fucking.
Yeah, and in the meantime, they're calling the cops. The girl, on the other hand, is sitting watching out the window, horrified. That's where psychology kicked in for me, too, again.
Right.
Was because I'm like, how does she feel? I mean, she must feel like shit. And what is he doing to her at home? How is he treating her? Look at her. Why is she even putting up with him? This is horrible. What a horrible situation.
That's awful.
And I walked up here and I said, you look amazing no matter what he thinks. It's time
Right.
for a divorce.
Yeah, what'd she say?
She looked at me, I love my haircut, and thank you. And I'm like, dump his ass, get out the fucking everything. Oh my God. You know, and then that's like, I'm gonna be a good psychologist. Leave him! Leave the fucking bomb! Yeah.
You know what my dad said? My dad always says, well, if you're with a guy that hits you, you deserve it. You're an idiot for staying with him.
Yeah, well, I don't know if he hit her or not, but if he's that physically
Yeah.
violent, you know he is.
Because she changed her hair?
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to Alaska. If you get a cool haircut, you're a dyke!
Modern day idiocy, guys.
Yeah, and you know, that's not hard. I mean, this state produced Sarah Palin. Give me a fucking break. Actually, Idaho produced her. We got stuck with the bitch because they're just stupid enough to put up with her.
She's not here anymore, right?
I don't care. She's supposed to have moved. Ugh. Oh my God, I can't even take it.
Is that the reason why they say valley trash?
No, the valley trash thing was part of that, but it was just the way people behaved out in the valley. And then one of the guys who was stuck up on the other side of town said some comment and coined the phrase valley trash, and pissed everybody off in Wasilla. Because not everybody in Wasilla is, you know, behaves anyway.
Exactly.
I mean, Wasilla is a little hee-haw. That's fine, but it's why the people live there. They want to be away from it all. They want their big trucks. They want their guns. They want their farms.
Some of us are imports.
And
transplants.
And times have changed in the last 10 years. You've got every store out there. You've got a hospital out there now. You've got blah, 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 blah. It's huge.
You actually have a plastic surgeon out there.
Yes. But listen to you. You know where every plastic surgeon is.
But my favorite one is in Colorado.
Oh, that a girl.
The best staff and everything. I miss you guys.
Oh, did you hear that?
If you're watching, I miss you.
We'll put it on their page. And I'll